What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Learning Culture Podcast. I am your host, Andrew Barry, and this is a special edition episode called Good to Great ICs. ICs stands for individual contributors. Now, why individual contributors? Because I think they are becoming an increasingly important role in companies of the future. There is increasing evidence every single day about how ICs are able to make more impact on their own thanks to AI, and how they are actually learning management skills to manage AI agents. In this edition of the podcast, we talk to leaders about what it really takes to grow as an individual contributor. So, whether you're an IC yourself looking for advice to grow your career, or you're responsible for developing ICs, this episode is for you. Let's get into it.
Okay, so first question. What is one aha moment from your days as an individual contributor that completely changed how you show up at work?
Oh man, an aha. I would say one aha is remembering that as an individual contributor, your work is just as important as a leader. And I didn't realize that until I had like an idea that I trusted myself with, put it out there and
Mm,
it flourishes. And when you see that happen and know that it can roll up, for
mm,
lack of a better way to say that, that's good
mm.
corporate lingo for
Yeah,
everybody.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah. So we all trying to
um,
do.
yeah, right. That it really helped solidify purpose. And so I think more than anything, it gave me permission to be innovative and gave me confidence, I guess is the better way to say that, to know that the things that I was doing as an individual contributor still held weight, for the value of the company.
Mm. Yeah, and permission is definitely a part of it. It's like we need to give ourselves that permission.
Hmm.
If you think back to that exact moment, what did you do well that did get it to bubble up and actually make an impact?
Um, I'm a firm believer in preparation. Maybe this comes from me being a Virgo, but I'm a little being organized, being prepared, and really doing the research. I think,
Mm,
and getting to know people and building those relationships is also a part of it too. When you have the allies, when you have the support, to be able to get to the point where you're able to share that out, in a safe space, it makes all of the difference. And not everybody has that safe space, or not everybody has that ally, which is where, sometimes you just have to be courageous and trust yourself. And I think the best way to do that is preparation.
yeah.
Preparation, organization, reading as much as you can, finding out as much as you can about the ins and outs of wherever you're working to know the best ways to communicate about the plan, whatever that might be. That was definitely it helped me know, like, no one's going to be able to trip me up on this because I've done the work.
Yeah, I love that advice. Like get out there and have those conversations before you need to make the asks.
Absolutely.
Okay, now I want you to picture your younger self, your IC self, early in your career. If you could go back to that Amy and whisper a piece of advice, what would it be?
Well, so I have to honestly say my young self was a teacher. So, I would say if I could go back and whisper something to her, which I don't think would be very different than whispering to the young IC, it would be, um, you can do more than you think you can. I think there's you you have more gifts and abilities and opportunities, and there's stuff brewing in there. Listen to the little voice, because that's going to guide you forward in a positive way moving forward, like no matter what direction you decide to go. That's what I would say to her. Listen to the little voice, trust it.
Love that so much. And it ties back to what you said about confidence and
Yeah.
permission. All
Yeah.
right, last question. So, when you spot a high potential IC today, what is
Mm.
one, what is the first thing you try to do to develop them?
Oh man. Definitely try to make sure that they have the right network set up to help them within the business and making sure that they have the like cross-functional supports. I think that's one thing that when you're an IC, sometimes you're so isolated in that team or the work or that section of the business. Often you don't get the opportunity to talk to people in other parts of the business or organization, whatever it might be. And so I think the first thing I usually do is try to use whatever relationships I've built, connections I've built, whether from the top or in between, wherever they are in the organization, to just start building some of those cross-functional connections and having conversations about the larger parts of the business, like what else is going on, so that when you're developing new things, when you're moving into positions of leadership, you now have people that you can reach out to and say, hey, I'm thinking about doing this, but how is it going to affect you? And how is it going to affect how this part of the business works? I think it's that higher level, kind of like I call it above the party thinking, like if you're in the party, you can't see all of the things that are happening. But when you are up on the balcony, you're like, oh my God, they're fighting over there. Like, oh my gosh, what's happening over there? It's kind of like allowing you to sit up a little bit higher and get a bird's eye view of what's happening.
Yeah.
That's usually what I go to first when I'm trying to help somebody out.
Yeah, a mentor of mine once said your network is your net worth, and it's so true. I love that.
It
And I
really
love
is.
that point about perspective as well, just getting
Hmm.
that perspective.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Amy, thank you so much for joining me on Good to Great
So
ICs.
welcome. So welcome. I'm happy to be here. It was great to be here.